All right, it is Tuesday, late Tuesday, which means it is time for Tuesday tier rankings, where we look at each starting quarterback in week 10. Was this week 10? I'm starting to lose track. We look at their performance this week and this week alone, and we put them into one of these five tiers: great, good, fine, poor, or trash. And let's get things started with the NFC North. With Caleb Williams, things are tough right now in Chicago. Things are bad in Chicago. Feels like the locker room's in total disarray. Some people don't want to put too much blame on Caleb Williams because he's a rookie. Their offensive line's bad. The coaching situation's not good. Looks like certain players have already given up on the team. I still thought Caleb Williams was just poor. I understand he's not in the best situation. I still thought he played pretty poorly, considering they were playing the Patriots, and the Patriots are awful. This was an opportunity. This is like the definition of a get-right game for Chicago, and they just looked awful. They looked completely lifeless. I'm not saying it's just Caleb Williams, but I still thought Caleb played poorly, missed some throws. Sam Darnold, the Vikings are 7-2. They won a game that was as ugly can get against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I thought Darnold was poor. I understand they won, and they're probably going to win again this week because they're playing my Titans, so they're probably about to be 8-2. But I like the Vikings. It's a good story. I just think it's a matter of time because Sam Darnold has already started to come back down to earth, and I think the Vikings as a whole eventually are going to come back down to earth. I thought Sam Darnold was poor this week, verging on worse. Jared Goff is a weird one because on one hand, he threw 5 interceptions. 5. So about at halftime of this game, I was thinking, all right, this dude's going in the trash this week. But then, second half rolled around, and you know what? When you can come back like that after starting that bad, dang it, I'm going to put Goff into good. In spite of the 5 interceptions, they came back and won. He led them back, and they won. To me, that makes me start to forget about the 5 interceptions because you came back and won. I can't get too mad about 5 interceptions. How many teams do you know their quarterback could throw 5 interceptions and they still win? Not many. Joe Burrow, the Bengals are 4-6. They lost. Burrow was great. I thought Joe Burrow was great on Thursday night. I understand he's throwing it to Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase is going off. I still think the Bengals are within striking distance of a playoff spot. The 7th seed in the AFC still feels very up for grabs. They're one game out. I think the second half of this season, if Burrow and Chase and Higgins and all of them can get it going, I still think the Bengals can be dangerous because Joe Burrow, nobody talks about it because they've been losing, but Joe Burrow has been great this year. Speaking of great, Lamar Jackson, the team they played on Thursday, the Ravens, thought Lamar was great too. In one division in the AFC North, you got 2 of the best, Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Just both of them, phenomenal. And they were both great on Thursday night. What an entertaining game. And then finally, rounding out the AFC North for this week, Browns were on a bye, as were the Packers in the NFC North. Russell Wilson. You know what? Huge win for the Steelers. They're 6-2. They just keep on winning. Russell keeps on playing well, and I thought Russell was good. Russell Wilson has been good since he came in for Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago. And think about it. This was a game where everybody was excited about Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. This rookie, they look so great. Pittsburgh, oh, Russell Wilson, boring. Well, Russell Wilson and the Steelers won. And Russell Wilson played well. He's been playing well. Probably looks more like Seattle Russell Wilson than Denver Russell Wilson for sure. Cooper Rush. Trash. Absolute trash. If there was anything below trash, he would be in that. He was awful. And the Cowboys, in the time Dak Prescott's out, you may as well just go with Trey Lance because this guy, I mean, yeah, trash. Jaden Daniels, who I mentioned a second ago, I thought he was fine. You know, every week on this tier ranking list, Jaden Daniels, I feel like, has either been good or great. This week, he's fine. And that's fine. That's fine. No pun intended. That's fine that he's in fine. He's a rookie. He ain't going to be great every week. I don't know if anybody's going to be great every week. But this was a game, one of their tougher games they've played so far. And they came up 1 point short. Controversial call at the end. I thought he was fine, though. Nothing bad about it, but definitely wasn't the Jaden Daniels performances that we've become accustomed to. Daniel Jones. Trash. I think the Daniel Jones era is coming to an end. I think the Giants are going to try to go in another direction. They are just they are a lifeless football team, no direction at all. And Daniel Jones, they paid him a lot of money a couple of years ago. There's nothing more to see here. I thought he was trash. Jalen Hurts. I thought Jalen Hurts was good, and Jalen Hurts and the Eagles have been good for this last month. They put a whooping on the Cowboys, as they should. They're much better than the Cowboys. Jalen Hurts has been playing well. He's been playing well. He's been doing some good stuff. The other day, the game got out of hand, and they got ahead, and so you know how it goes. When you get ahead, you kind of take your foot off the gas, but I thought Jalen Hurts was good. He's been good. Josh Allen, Josh Allen had some turnovers Sunday against Indianapolis. Definitely wasn't one of his better performances this season. I don't think he belongs in the great category at all this week. But they did win. I'm going to say Josh was good. Had the turnover problems, but when it counted in the fourth quarter, late in the game, he did what he had to do, and he got him down there. I think that against a better defense, the Bills might have struggled a little more with that kind of performance from him, but he rebounded. They made it happen at the end. So I'll say Josh was good. Tua. I mean, listen, I thought Tua was good. I mean, I'm tempted to put him into fine. No, I'll say Tua was good. I mean, Tua, the Miami Dolphins are a much better team with him. And that was a win Monday night against the Rams then. I mean, I picked the Rams to win that game. And with 7 seed being so open in the AFC, if the Dolphins get hot in the second half of the season, who knows? I thought Tua was good, though. Drake May, thought he was good, too. I mean, has to be a tough blow for the Bears when the guy you drafted first overall has now been beaten by the guy who was drafted number 2 overall a couple of weeks ago in Jaden Daniels. And now the guy who was drafted number 3 was May 3. Now Caleb Williams has been beaten by both of them. I think Drake May, there's something there to build on. There is certainly something there to build on for New England. They don't have a very good roster. But Drake May definitely has the tools. I mean, you can tell there's something there. Aaron Rodgers. The Jets fooled everybody a week ago when they beat Houston on that Monday or Thursday nighter, and everybody was like, "Oh, here we go with the Jets," and then they it's over. I think I'm gonna say Rodgers. Let's say Rodgers was poor, verging on trash. I mean, the whole Aaron Rodgers experience has been trash for the Jets. I thought it was poor on Sunday. I mean, I know they were playing Arizona, and Arizona's been red hot for the last month, but I mean, they look dead in the water. Him in particular. I mean, looks like the sand is ticking through the hourglass pretty quick on these days of our lives. Kyler Murray, good. Kyler's been good for most of this season, especially this last month, a little over a month. They put a whooping on the Jets, and similar to Jalen Hurts, game got out of hand. And, when the game gets out of hand, maybe that makes the stat line not look as good because they kind of take their foot off the gas. But I thought Kyler, he had one touchdown he dropped in there to Marvin that was just a thing of beauty. Brock Purdy. For the situation, I thought Brock was great. You're going to say that's too high? I thought Brock Purdy was great. Playing against a tough Tampa Bay defense, a gritty Tampa Bay team. He marched them right down there. Game-winning field goal at the end. I mean, I don't know what more he could have wanted from him. I thought Brock was great. Matt Stafford, I mean, he threw the ball, nearly 50 times. I thought Stafford was fine. Disappointing for the Rams because it looked like they were turning the corner. They had won a few games in a row. This game felt winnable for them at home on Monday night. I thought Stafford was fine, but now it really feels like the Rams are behind the 8 ball in terms of getting into the playoffs. And I don't know what the future holds for him there, but I thought Stafford was fine. I mean, he's been great for much of this season, but just fine Monday night. Justin Herbert, who played my Titans. I'm going to say he was fine, but like so many other weeks with the Chargers, I don't mean that necessarily as an insult because like a lot of other weeks, the Chargers play good defense. The Chargers have a good run game. They have a good attack. It's boring to watch, but it works. It's effective. And a lot of times, they just need Justin Herbert to be fine. You're playing the Titans. My Titans, who are struggling. You just need to be fine. And he was fine. That's what they needed him to be. Patrick Mahomes struggled some in this game against that good Denver defense, but I thought Mahomes was good. Let me move me down here so you can see what I'm doing. I thought Mahomes was good. Obviously, I think at this point, when you just need somehow, some way, in the fourth quarter, you need to get the win. I just still don't think there's anybody you'd rather have than Mahomes. I've always said it about Tom Brady, that Tom Brady is the greatest winner I've ever seen in terms of just knowing how to win. And people say it's the referees, whatever. Mahomes and company just know how to win, and I thought Mahomes was good in this game. Obviously, they had the big special teams play at the end, but I thought Mahomes was good against a very game Denver team. And speaking of that team, Bo Nix, in defeat, I thought Bo Nix was good. Lest we forget, unless a crazy blocked field goal happens at the end, Bo Nix very nearly led a game-winning drive that took up a crap ton of time to beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. He did his part. He helped get them down there, and then they had the blocked field goal and they lost. If I'm a Denver, I know that loss hurts for Broncos fans, but I'd be excited about this guy because while we're all talking about Jaden Daniels and Drake Mays looking good and what's going on with Caleb, Bo Nix is growing up before our very eyes. I know this is a tough loss for Denver and their fans are upset, but you still need to be excited about Bo, all right? Baker Mayfield, I'm going to say Baker was fine. He's a tough guy. He's playing hard, but without his top two receivers, going against these tough opponents, the Chiefs last week, the 49ers this week, the Bucks, it's a tough break for them because I think they could have been a playoff contender if those guys stayed healthy. But without them, you can tell Baker is struggling. And I think, he's playing hard, but without your top two receivers, especially when your top two receivers are Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And this is what I was worried about with the Bucks going into the year was injuries. And now here we are. Bryce. Panthers are on a win streak, baby. They've won 2 in a row. And once again, I thought Bryce was fine. He didn't do anything disastrous to lose. I mean, they won. I think since he came back in, because at the start of the season he was horrible. Since he came back in from being benched, he has consistently been fine. Fine. Which, when you look at how bad he was at the start, you'll take it. Kirk Cousins, bad loss for the Falcons. I'm going to put Cousins into fine, but if we're just basing this off end of the game situations, I would put him in the trash. Taking forever to get up there to snap the ball. Throwing it short of the sticks. When it's 4th down, you need to get out of bounds. I mean, just what a terrible sequence at the end. Overall, I thought he was fine, but you'd like better than that against the Saints when you got paid $180 million. Speaking of the Saints, Derek Carr. I thought Derek Carr was good. I mean, this was reminiscent of the Saints that we got in the first 2 weeks when they were, they looked like world beaters and everybody's wondering what was going on. Then they lost like 7 in a row, but this was a callback to those first 2 weeks. The Saints, I don't think, Derek Carr and the Saints can't do this consistently, but I thought Derek Carr was good on Sunday. Joe Flacco. I thought Flacco was poor. I mean, what a situation. You put him in. I think his first pass of the game was a pick six. I think he turned the ball over. Well, he threw 3 interceptions, and then he also had a fumble. Did a couple of good things. I mean, the Colts hung around in this game for a while, but if you're a Colts fan and you benched the guy that you drafted number 4 overall for this, a pick 6 on the first play of the game, an interception to a defensive tackle, that's just, poor, very poor. CJ Stroud. Some people will say it is my Tennessee Titans fan bias. But no, I like CJ Stroud. I do. I like him. I think he's a good guy. Talented guy. Something's off with him. And I thought Sunday night he was poor. First half, if we're just going by first half, good. Second half, though, you don't score a point. And I know there are other issues. Their offensive line is not good. Obviously, Stephon Diggs being done for the year hurts, but there's injuries on every team, so you can't just use that as an excuse. I sound like a broken record. I say it every week. CJ Stroud's good, but on a consistent basis, I don't think he is as good as people want him to be. I see, from year 1 to year 2, I see regression. I don't know about you guys. You might disagree. When I look at CJ Stroud, I see regression. Not that he's bad, but, he looked so good his rookie year, especially to end the year. And what people expected from him, there were people saying he could be an MVP candidate. These last 2 games especially, and not even counting the Green Bay game where he only threw for 86 yards about a month ago, I ain't seeing it with Stroud right now. I'm not saying that they should abandon him. He's good, but I don't think he's as good as people want him to be. Mac Jones got the start for Jacksonville this week. Trash. Jacksonville's in a tough spot. I don't know how much longer they're going to have Mac Jones in there, but Mac Jones is still Mac Jones. And then we're going to wrap it up with Will Levis, who returned to the lineup for my Titans this week. I think every game Will has started this year, he has either been poor or trash on these tier rankings. This might surprise some of you. I thought Will was fine. Not good enough to win. But I said it earlier in another video on my channel, it was one of the more encouraging performances from him that he's had in terms of, and I know this is clearing a very low bar, but no disastrous turnovers, no crazy shovel passes or trying to get rid of the ball at the last second, and against a defense that leads the league in scoring, and the Chargers I expected worse. Threw some nice balls along the way. His main issue in this game was terrible pocket presence. He was sacked 7 times, and by my count, at least 4 of those were his fault. The Titans only gave up 6 sacks in 3 games when Mason Rudolph was in there. Will Levis comes back and they give up 7 in 1 game. So you tell me. You tell me. But overall, yeah, Will was fine. Still not good enough. They need him to be a heck of a lot better than that. But he was fine, and that is his best ranking on this list so far this season. So, hooray. In the great category this week, not too many, only 3 guys. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy. In the good category, Jared Goff, Russell Wilson, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Drake May, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, and Derek Carr. In the fine category, Jaden Daniels, Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins, and Will Levis. In the poor category, Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, CJ Stroud. And in the trash, Cooper Rush, Daniel Jones, and Mac Jones, the Jones brothers. Let me know what you think of this list. Let me hear from you in the comments. Tighten up. Bye, everybody.